Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Indian Gaming Series. And this is the day 11 and a knockout match. And I'm Sayumi, and on the caster date, we do have a most handsome Mr. Jerry. Hello, Jerry. How was your day?
Hello, Sayu, and my day was quite awesome, and I am really excited for this match. And as we see on the blue side, we have IK, and on the red side, we have Dedu Esports. And as we are talking about, and as we as we proceed to the banning phase, we see that IK has banned that Harith and Joy, that are quite good bans. But what are your thoughts about on this Xavier ban?
It's quite pretty good. For the late game, you don't want to face that savior, especially the downing. Like once he gets some of the itemization, he can easily, cut you off the half HP right now. And like if we see into the biggest phase for the team, I get the prioritizing button right now, and from the team, they do esports. They are going for the Vecna with the alpha. Okay, that's a
Yes,
competitive
and
coming right now.
Yes, and that Vixana is so annoying. That first skill that stuns whole teams if whole team is near to each other, and that alpha with that sphere of alpha and that sustain coming up from the alpha is quite good in the team fights if it is drafted well. So Sayumi, what should be the next pick from the side of IK? What do you think? What should they prioritize here?
I still right now there's a lot of meta heroes open. They didn't even ban Lucas, but you might know but I might go for the HP. But if they don't go for the Ron, it will be much very good for the team IQ. Meanwhile, they're going for it to say the Melissa with the Martyrs. Oh my god, what do you think about this play?
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this Martis and that alpha matchup. If that alpha is in hyper, if that alpha is EXP, that gonna be a Badang versus alpha matchup. If I predict that Badang is EXP, but in hyper, if we see that Martis and alpha, they are that Martis is gonna lack that end game in when it comes to end game, that Martis is gonna lose against alpha because the sustain that region comes up from the alpha, that Martis can't keep up with that. What do you think, Sayumi?
Exactly, they're just leaving all those meta heroes open right now, and it's gonna be a birdie against Melissa. Let's go, this two, you know, unexpected hero picks, but it depends on the user on how you execute. And it's gonna be a fourth time coming from the team Daddy Esports. The team IK, they didn't even for the roamer or the EXP laner or the mid lane, so they should have banned the mid lane right now at this point. Sicilian is also open still now.
Yeah, and I think the same because they should prioritize that mid lane or the roam pick. Badang is a flex picks and that can be a roam. So I think they should prioritize on the mid lane more because they have many OP mid laners right now opened, and as we see a Gato ban, they are going towards that roam ban from the side, and Gato is quite a flexible pick right now also. So they have quite used their brains and they have banned that Gato, and from the side of Team IK, they have banned that Lucas, and you were talking about that Lucas, how he sustains well, and the damage coming up from that Lucas is so much in that beast form. And I really think
Exactly.
that it's a great ban.
Exactly. With the flash combos, flash tap, it does a lot of enough damage once he, unleash the beast. He can easily pick off any tanky or squishy heroes in the early game or the late game. So you prefer banning Lucas at this point. But what do you think about this Kagura ban coming from the team Daddy Esports? That was an unexpected ban.
Yeah, and I think they might have studied their enemies and they have banned that Kagura. That's why. And as we see and as we proceed to the second pick phase, that they are showing that Soyu and this assassin is perfect. This is the perfect hyper. It has escape, it has damage, it has stun, it has everything that a hyper should need, and a proper red tree. It if it is played properly, it is quite a menace. And as I was thinking of it, and no, I think that Dedu Esports has something other in their mind, and they have picked that Minsitar there. What do you think, Sayumi?
That's also a comfortable pick coming right now from the team that is sports. I have seen that they are going to pick Syria, so I thought they are going to trade the current meta heroes right now, but instead they went for a Minsitar. Hey, Alpha is going for the jungle. Meanwhile, Minsitar onto the EXP lane, and we're gonna see that it's gonna be a God and a Rafaela.
Yeah, and they are quite an unorthodox picks. But Rafaela do
Ooh.
complement that Rafaela do complements with that Martes, and as we see, a Valentina has been picked. They have quite, I think they are two ultis that Valentina can copy and can be pretty useful in the team fights. Like that Minsitar, that King's Calling is gonna be a asset for the team side of IK, and that Vixana's ult can also be copied. And as we see, and as we are talking about that picks, and here we see that Dedu Esports are showing Hylos and Franco. So, what are your thoughts about Franco on this game if they pick that Franco?
I mean, they should have gone for Hylos move will be much pretty better than a Franco because they already got the Valentina, so I think going for the Franco would be a really hard time for them, especially with the Bloody Massacre. Once you copy the Franco ultimate, then it's really hard for the team that do esports to counter him at this point. Meanwhile, these two teams, their picks are really pretty quite good. So, yeah, Jerry, what do you think about this team? Which team you are preferring at this point?
And according to me, I think I would place the bet on Dedu Esports because they have quite think out their draft. They have taken Martis. They have taken Minsitar for that Martis. They have Hylos, a great tanky laner. They have Vixana, which turns with pokes a lot. They have a tanky, a sustainable, and a reliable hyper as Alpha. And I think that Brody is quite unorthodox, but I think if he plays well, he can outmaneuver that Belissa pretty well if the team rotates well. So what are your thoughts on it, Sayumi? Whom do you think should win or would win this match?
I mean, like as you have said, from the team they do esports, they do have a lot of early game heroes and even the late game. Meanwhile, they do have a lot of species. But for the team IK, they have Martins for the early game. Meanwhile, for the late game, they do have a Melissa that's gonna be give a lot of poke and the burst damage coming up from him. And I think if they go for the aggressive plays in the early game for the team, Delo Esports, Team IQ might lose, especially in the early game.
Yes, and as we see that both the teams have decided to rotate it towards their MM, and they have quite tried to focus on that MM lane. And we see that Valentina is quietly rotated well, and they are there on the bot side. And as we see that damage coming up from the Valentina, force that flicker out of that Brody. Wow, that good rotation coming up from the side of Valentina early in the game, and that revitalize has been popped up by that high loss. And Sayumi means as I was talking, as you were talking about the draft, that what are the measures taken by both the teams that, like if we talk about that from the side of IK, what measures should they take that so that they could take this match to and proceed to the next round?
I mean, like if they give Snowball into the gold laner, like for the Melissa, once Melissa gets Snowball into the early game, it's really hard to counter her, especially for the late game. With the boy away, she can easily melt the game and even squish heroes with the puppet. And the turtle is we're gonna see that the extreme rotation onto the top lane. Meanwhile, we're gonna see Minsita is trying to move him back.
And
Oh
a
my
hook
god, they just
for
got
two
hooked.
people, and they would return to safety. But it was a great hook coming up from the side, from that Min Sitar. That fear of glory was on point, and as we see that both the teams have started to position themselves
Oh my god.
on the turtle, and as we see that Brody has taken down that Melissa with a one on one. That was a mistake by the side of Team IK, because I think that Melissa would have a late game advantage, but to reach that late game, he should play safe against Brody, because if the Brody get farmed, he would be a problem for the side of IKEA.
Oh, that was a nice
And a
calling coming up on the
calling has
mid.
been used by that
Yes.
Valentina, and a king calling has been popped up by that Min Sitar, and that Badang would be taken down. That Brody is in this river of HP and would be returning to the base, and Turtle goes to the side of Team Team Dedu Esports, and High Loss was a High Loss charged with his ultimate, but would be taken down by that Valentina. And I think, Sayumi, what do you think that mistake coming up from the side of High Love? I think it was an over engaged with that glorious path, and he paid off with his life.
Yes, exactly. I mean, like they want to initiate as much as they want, but by taking the turtle, they just need to retreat. They just need to back off. But instead, they just want to. I mean, like a bit greedy to get three members out there. But still, Hilo just got the punishment because no one is reaching up over. I mean, like onto him. He just used the lowest pathway to engage. But no,
And a
there is
spear of Alpha
Melissa
and a
with
King's
a lot
Calling
of
used
damage.
on that Badang, and Badang would be taken down on the top side. Wow, that rotation coming up from the Alpha was so great. He was sitting in the top bush, waiting for that Badang to charge on that Minsitar, and that engage on the Minsitar cost him his life. And yeah, Sayumi, sorry to interrupt you, but yes, that high loss paid off with his life, and it was a mistake. It was a trade given at the turtle, but if we see, it was a win fight for the Dedu Esports because they got the kill. And as we see, that Minsitar has
Mhm.
been taken down there by that Rafaela, and a spear of Alpha inside the tower, but Melissa would be saved by result, but no. Hylos charged with his glorious pathway, a temple clash onto two people, and Hylos in the low HP. Badang, Badang trying to poke that Hylos, and Roddy would be successful in taking down that Rafaela there, and Brody is not stopping, using his basic move to pierce that opponents, and Valentina would be taken down. That mortar coil is gonna save that Martis, but how long? And as we see that Martis has been surrounded by three people, and they are waiting for that minions to charge inside the base. Melissa comes in with that, and Brody uses his ultimate, but wouldn't be able to take down that Martis, and Martis returned down the base to safety. So, what are your thoughts about this team fight coming up from the side of Dedu Esports, Sayumi?
I mean, I think that these sports are playing really safe and even they're catching up those, the damage dealer, especially for the early game like Melissa and even Martis doesn't have that kind of, oh, that was a nice rule coming up from the Minster. They're gonna be taking Valentina out there, and it's gonna be a free total for the team that the esports again. And like we have seen the team that the esports that have a more upper hand onto the goal lead, and even the KD at the scoreboard is gonna be 8 out of 3. And right now the team is onto the favor of the esports.
And yes, and as we are talking about that, this early game uh, should be from the side of IKEA because they have Martis, but they are not able to utilize that pick. And now we see that blue were gonna be in danger, and there we see King's Calling used up by that by that Minsitar, and there was no person in the middle of that ult. And as we see, Holy Baptism used on two people, but no, a Badang Temple Clash used on two
Oh,
people, but no, they would be returned to safety. A King's Calling used on Natalia by that Valentina, and as we see, Dedu Esports returning, but no, Martes uses the decimation and would be taking down that high loss. And as we see that Alpha comes into the fight, Spear of Alpha onto two people, and here he gets the double kill, but no, he is not stopping. Melissa is not stopping, and Melissa would be taken down instead by that Brody. And as we see that Martes is hungry for kills, he is trying to see where is Brody, and Brody himself is not stopping. Brody himself is quite farmed and has quite of damage. And as we see, he checked the bushes with that abyssal impact, and what a great team fight coming up from the both side.
yes, exactly. That's gonna be a 3 out of 3 plate right now over in the team fight. Team there is sports they overextend the team fight, but there is Brody getting some of the kills, and even he's getting snobbling right now at this point. The team IK Sports, IK team. Valentina with the King's Calling will be much pretty good, but that's not working right now. If you go for the Eternal Guard in the team fight, it will be much more helpful for his teammate.
Yes, and I think that Valentina should that it doesn't depends upon only the Valentina, but it depends upon the Minstar. He has to use that ultimate on them, and as we see, a fight has broken, and that torn apart memory on that Valentina, and Valentina would be taken down just before the Lord, and I think it's gonna be a free Lord for the side of the Do Esports. And it's 8 minutes into the game, and they have around 4.5k leads. And as we see that it was an uncontested lot coming up from the side of Dadu Esports. And as we were talking about this Badang pick, but this Badang pick hasn't been proven anything very useful from the side of IK right till now.
Right now, Brody is onto the snowball. Right now, they just need to shut him down. If they continuously overlead doing this aggressive rotation, then that's gonna, you know, they might need to counter this Brody, but Brody is given a lot of enough damage to knock them off. But Melissa,
And a hook onto the Badang, but Badang would flicker out. A King's Calling onto that. The Spear of Alpha has been used, and Badang uses the fist break and a fist clash, and it would be a wipeout from the side of Team Tedu Esports, and they are marching towards the base. That Lord has the full HP, and I think it's gonna be a crystal taken up from the side of Tedu Esports. That King's Calling by
oh
that
my
Minsitar
god.
was so on point, and there we see that Dedu Esports have taken down that game. Wow, that King's Calling and that follow up by that Alpha with that Spear of Alpha so on point with that. It has taken down that whole team of IK. And as we are talking about their draft, and as we are talking that it was an early game draft from the side of IK, but I think they have been not being able to utilize that well because that Martes is 2-1-1, and we don't expect that to be happening to a Martes because I think that decimation and that motor coil is so early, so much dominating in the early game. But no, but that from the side of Dedu Esports, they use their draft pretty well. They use that Minsitar hooks so well in the team fights that they take the team to the victory. What do you think, Sayumi?
Yes, exactly. That's true. That's true. And ladies and gentlemen, man, we are seeing the huge shift now, and you know they have been going for the team fighting, snowballing, and ending the game with just third. And we're gonna see that they're giving the snowballing onto the goal lane. That's gonna be a Brody. With his KD 606, that was pretty insane. Plenty of disaster has happened in this match, but do not underestimate this team. And congrats to the team, Dedo Esports.
Yes, yes. Yes, and you guys be sure to subscribe us. We would come back after a break with some more interesting matches, more intense matches like this. Please sure to be here and please sure to like the stream also.
Cook or Get Cooked needs to do is making the first play. They're still trying to make plays. Even now, look at that. There's an implosion play that comes up, does not do anything at all. The Tig pushes them back in. They're still choosing to engage once again, and they just don't have enough damage or gold to do anything. Right now, the Matilda alone can solo down this Julian. Look at it. So I don't see much of a point in them making the same mistake over and over again. They did it in the first 2 minutes. They did it again because remember they got the first two kills at the start when Outlaws got the kills. Coco Get Cook just had to be a little patient with their farm instead of forcing that first turtle. They could have ganked gold instead, but they kept making the same mistake again and again and again. And right now they've paid the price for it as Outlaws is at their at their base.
Yes, and as we see that two inhibitors have been taken down, I think that Mia would be able to take down that bot mid inhibitor, and yes, it has been taken down. And as you were saying it right, yes, I think they have maintained the discipline. They know that Julian's buff has been taken down. Let Julian farm. Let him take that power early game power spike. Let us farm well, and then we should fight. But but they didn't, and they are literally paying the price. It's an uncontested lord, and only a one inhibitor, one base star is left to be able to defend who that is on their side. And as as we are talking about the disadvantages, what do you think? What should be the measures taken down from the side of Get Cook or Get Cooked to come back in this game? I think it's quite impossible that if it depends upon the Lela now to get farm, to get that kills, to get that shutdowns, and to return into the game. What do you think, Balduru, should be the measures for this Lord
Right.
defense and comeback?
Well, again, same thing. They have the Layla has to stay alive. The Vexana cannot pop the Eternal Guard too early. Right now, the first thing you need to stop is not let them reach the base, but they've already done so. They should have diverted the Lord. And looks like Mia is on a rampage, picking up a triple kill. She nearly got the Maniac, but by that time, the base shatters into pieces along with the hopes of Cook or Get Cooked, as unfortunately, they are the ones who got cooked, and the KDAs definitely reflect that as Mia takes home the MVP with every single member of the Outlaws picking up an absolutely beautiful performance with everyone with that gold medal.
Yes, 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 and as we see that Tigreal connected onto the four-man implosion, but the damage was so less that they were so outformed into the till that time that they were not able to dish out that damage, take out that four people, and yes, that in return caused that maniac coming up from the side of Mia. And yes, it was a well-deserved MVP from the side of Mia. She was able to dish out that 30% of the damage of the total team. And Hylos played a very important role, taking out 40% of the damage coming up from the side of Cook or Get Cooked. And he really cooked them, really cooked it well. With that, and with that, they proceed to the next round. And as for you guys, please be with us. Please subscribe to us and please be tuned to us because more interesting matches, more interesting outplays would be coming here. Please, please do subscribe and click on the notification button.
What a delightful evening we're having, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be jumping straight into the next game that we are going to be proceeding with. It's going to be Holocaust versus Team 5. I'm not really sure if this is the fifth match. I'm sorry for that. But if it is the fifth match and their team name is also Team 5, it is just a good coincidence. But, anyways, let's forget about the coincidence and everything. You already know why we are here. It's the Indian Gaming Series, and we got a massive prize pool. Obviously, we also have our partners. Production partner is IGC, media partner is obviously Zero Gaming, and presented by our beloved Thunder Esports. And of course, powered by one and only Vista. Anyways, I'm gonna be your caster Ray on the casting desk, and with me, joining me would be the ever so beautiful Asriya.
Hello everyone, and yes, good evening. This is a beautiful night, and here we are back with another match. And moving on to the draft phase right away because both teams are ready right now. Lucas as well as Fanny have been banned out. I wonder when they'll be banning out this EXP laner. Like he actually one of the flex if you ask me because if you want you can go for the roam with Lucas, go on the EXP, even go for the jungle. That's how much sustain, control, damage this guy has right now.
Yeah, and I feel like most people just like to go for the EXP lane for that crowd control, that additional level, and the fact that you can play Vengeance. And I feel many people, yes, they do play jungle, but Vengeance is reliable because, yeah, you can deal damage when you're getting attacked. So, basic stuff here, not going to be going too much about it. But, anyways, right now we're going to be proceeding with the last of the bands. Nothing much surprising just yet. But the first pick is going to be Holocaust. And, you know, we see first pick, different first picks all the time. Right now, Astuya, what do you think is going to be the priority for Team Holocaust? Because, Team 5, they're also looking quite interesting.
Well, since it is the gold lane meta, so maybe securing some top tier gold laners can be the way to go. Go for the Irithel or Granger since Harith has been banned out. I do see both of these picks are the best, but I do see a whale on the screen. I don't think so. Those comes a lot will be coming up with a whale pick, right? And it just debating around, and yes, it will be Badang, one of the best picks right now with the cooldown reductions. This guy is a beast. The amount of control he has, like he's so hard to counter, and the amount of knockback and stance this guy has right now, like one of the definitely priority picks in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about the goal lane, the Irisal and Granger are obviously still left out open, but obviously going in for the Badang. I mean, I always wondered why Badang wasn't coming into the meta, but yep, the tankiness of the update really helped him out because obviously you can use him for a CC. And I just mentioned Granger and Nirtal and they just locked in because there's like no other options really anymore. But at the same time, there's a Hayabusa against the Stereo. This matchup, who do you think has the slight edge in the farm and in the objective secure? What do you think?
Well, we cannot compare because Suyo was a beast. He got a little bit of nerf, but then again, we do see Hayabusa on the rise right now because like he has a lot of mobility. Both of these junglers really need early game snowball, so it really depends on how the entire team is able to provide the early game um, uh, goal to these guys. And at the same time, like Suya does have an immobilize, has a lot of unpredictable damage, and his capabilities of stealing out the kills, the neutral objectives is pretty top notch. And then again, like I think they're kind of well matched. At the same time, I really love the Hayabusa pick here because simply because he can dive in, take the Granger behind, and this guy, the amount of range he has, like he's pretty hard to lock down.
Yeah, and but at the same time, Deirdre has proven herself to be the kryptonite, but obviously the team effort is going to be the one that's going to be counting out the most. But I just noticed something. Irithel is sorry, not Irithel. Mathilda is open, if I'm not wrong. Yep, and she hasn't been picked up by either side. So if any of these teams want to prioritize her, I think it is the perfect moment. Especially, I believe the side of Team T5, they can go in for the Mathilda because they have a two-fighter composition against you know Team Holocaust because they have an assassin. So Mathilda might not be the best option for them. But on the other hand, for the Phobius, for the Suyo, it is.
Yes, I highly agree. Mobility provided by Matilda could be top tier here. And with that, they can top it off with another tanky pick, you know, because since it is the EXP and the jungler right now, they really need a roamer. So even a Carmela, maybe. Let's see what they go in for. But at the same time, our Phobius pick here is pretty good considering the amount of dashes our Badang as well as the Hayabusa will be having. The amount of sustain and zone he can provide in the early game, also towards the late game, is pretty good. So as well as concerned about the early game right now, it looks to be strong inside of Team 5, and especially considering that they have a Suya as well as the Phobius who can provide a lot of potential in the early game. Then let's just see what happens right now because they are looking in for a mate. And do you think Vexana is a good pick here?
I mean, she doesn't have any dashing capabilities to get off the Barang wall, so she's just gonna, she's just gonna have, she's just gonna be stuck inside the wall, and if she doesn't have the flicker either, she's gonna be facing a lot of issues. On the other hand, she does have the CC capabilities, and she does have the Eternal Guard to just, you know, just what do you say again? I mean, basically provide the damage and provide the aid that the assist it can really give. But at the same time, it is going to be interesting how they're going to work around because look at that, they might be going into it in abundance of crowd control. Tiger, Kufra, whatever it may be. Yep, it's going to be Tiger, but still a lot of crowd control coming in, especially with the new buff Selena. I think this Vexana is definitely going to have a lot of troubles unless we see a support here right now. Matilda can be a really good pick, in my opinion, for the shields and for the mobility.
Well, definitely, since they can also dash away from the walls of Padang. So she can be a great option here. At the same time, I really love the entire draft coming from the side of Team Holocaust right now because Selena just got a buff. And I've been using her quite a lot now, and her damage is so good right now. Like, it's kind of surprising that how just a slight change in some of the um, attributes can change a hero so much. At the same time, they do have a riddle for the late game. Hayabusa needs that early, and Badang as well as Selena are one of those heroes who can provide a lot of utility in the early game. Just that the skills connect, and yes, the entire draft sets up pretty well.
Yes. And Kufra against the Tigreal, Airtel against the Granger, Selena against the Vexana. We have a lot of fun matchups on this game. Let's just see how everything goes around because I think it's going to be certainly an interesting one. After all, it's not a BO3 where you get another chance for yourself. It's just going to be that one single chance. So let's just see how this turns out.
Well, yep. And one more thing, Kufra is like a really nice tank, but then again, really needs a bait. Especially the EXP laner needs to bait people around so that he can use his skills and especially his ultimate, like someone to give him the idea that this is the time where I can set up for the entire team. And I think Phoebus is one of the best EXP laners for that job because he will be right diving inside the entire team composition, trying to zone them away, and that's where Kufra has to look up for an opportunity to set up for the entire team. So I think this there should be a crucial pivotal point of the team draft, especially lies on the Phoebus and the Kufra, and they should communicate well for a good head start.
Yeah, definitely. But we're already into the land of dawn, proceeding with the laning phase. Let's just look around the positioning of everyone. And if you can notice, Kufra on here really providing like a lot of vision into the hype, but at the same time, Tigreal does have the similar plans, and Kufra is unaware of it so far. But okay, they're proceeding to the blue buff. Probably just one. Okay, looks like they want to go in for an invade. Look at that.
Yep, the Abyssal Arrow might missed out on the Vexana, but look at the damage already from the defense shred coming in from the Abyssal. They are not letting them leave. Okay, very low HP, and the first start will be taken away as Hayabusa was taken down. The rest of the team taking up a lot of damage. Abyssal Arrow connecting in once again, but of course the follow up isn't recommended because it will be a 4 versus 3 right there. But Hayabusa losing your jungler right in the early game, very bad start.
Yeah, I think Hayabusa did not expect for the backup to be coming on soon, but at the same time, I feel like that's just a blunder on his part because you shouldn't be using up your shadow just to go in and then expire it completely. And I think he just paid the price for it. And again, he's going in, but he does have the shadows this time. So he will be fine. But oh, Selena might be caught in the midst of it, does flicker out. But, that's the price. That's the price. You used up your battle spell. So on this turtle fight, if the Kufra gets to you, it's going to be quite dire. On the other hand, Vexana went in for the Purify. So I mean, I understand she wants to save herself from the stuns, but if she's caught in the midst of the Badang wall, I'm not really sure how Purify can help. But anyways, the turtle is up. Hayabusa quite behind against Ash, who's right now level 5.
Yep, and right now Kufra charging in once again. Here comes the bouncing ball, and look at the damage coming in from Ash, and Sunila will be taken down once again. Fob is trying to zone a little away. Just look at the amount of zoning potential he has, but look at that beautiful wall. The fist crack coming in from Badang, and two people will be taken down as a result. Irithel dishing out a lot of damage. Tigreal managing to escape in such a low HP right there. That was a complete Uno reverse, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, Badang is a hero you do not want to miss out on.
I mean, he's literally Grok Pro Max combined with the stuns of a Moskov. So, I mean, he's two in one deal. And it took a lot of time for people to realize his potential. But yep, we're finally seeing him right now. And he's obviously working wonders. And just like I mentioned, Sir comes a lot, wasting out that flicker just meant that he would be caught from the bouncing ball of the tyrant. And I feel like Sir comes a lot needs to use those traps to provide the vision because after all they're against the composition that really
Oh,
look at Tigreal goes in already with the implosion. Is it the damage really enough? And there's the Eternal God coming in as well. That okay, Kufra with the rage takes down Hayabusa instead. Lot of Uno reverses happening all over the map.
oh yes, but that was kind of expected, right? At the same time, like I mentioned before, the precision of the skills from the side of Team Holocaust is what matters the most, and Badang is doing an amazing job, but then Selena also comes a lot really need to, see before he aims those arrows because he's been missing out on quite a lot. And like if he manages to okay, but I do not think so. He will be managing to see the light of dawn in this very moment because the initiations coming from Kufra are really, really beautiful. At the same time, the follow-ups from the rest of the team, this pair of the Changdar as well as the Kufra, they are like, synchronizing pretty well in my opinion.
Yeah, they definitely are, and we can clearly see the result. The slight goal lead as well as the kill lead is just making in favors for the side of Team 5 right now. And okay, so you're going for the Sky Piercer as first item. I don't see that often, but I do like the confidence. But look at the Vexana, she might be a little bit too ahead of herself because she does get taken down. And yeah, second turtle is gonna be up soon. There is a swap of the lane. No, not swap. Sorry, my bad. The gold lane is gonna be the contention here, and Nova just providing the vision. Let's see what happens. Oh, because he's Granger.
I'm pretty low HP. Manages to escape away though two people in really low HP, and right now, like the turtle is nearing, and they were successfully able to move away. But at the same time, Badang uses up his flicker. That was a close call. Okay, Ash just manages to go in, take that last hit. Meanwhile, Phobius all the way from top, taking those kills, and Tigreal will be a inevitable sacrifice as the turtle will also be taken away by the Suya. Meanwhile, Nova will be traded up by the Wiki Shadows, but like I think that's definitely a win for the side of Team Five because they have the turtle, they have the gold lead. At the same time, I think Badang was way too aggressive right there. Should have waited for Tigreal to initiate.
Yeah, I think Barang is definitely the perfect initiator, but at the same time, you have a Tiger. So I feel like him going ahead would have been the much better situation and just wait to. I mean, you have a front to back composition, so why not make the good and the best use of it? But they are kind of suffering right now. As we can clearly see, the score is kind of even, but the goal lead is definitely into the hands of Team 5. But let's just proceed and see how this game goes. After all, it's only been 6 minutes and game can turn around at any second. After all, they do have the late game monster Aethel, but on the other hand, they do have the damage from that that bow of Suyo itself is dealing a lot of damage due to level deficient. Let's just see how it goes around. The gold lead, slight much.
Well, yes, absolutely. He is level 10 with the maximum goal out there, and he's doing an amazing job, even if the team loses out on some trade offs. But he's always there capitalizing on the last hits. Meanwhile, if we see from the side of Team Holocaust, so many members are just leaving in really low HP, just like we saw in that team fight in the bot lane. But then no one is. They do not have a finisher. It's like their synergy and communication isn't well. I mean, just look at that beautiful initiation coming in, and Selena will be taken out once again. The implosion missing in. Hayabusa just using up his, quartz shadows to move around, but nothing much will be happening as the first tier from the mid lane will be taken away. A huge win, huge win, opening up the map.
Yeah, getting the mid lane turret opens up the map completely. It makes you go into the territory of the enemy jungle. And look at that, Hayabusa probably just wants to create something for his team, but the Vexana almost became the scapegoat. But the team was on the end, provide a backup. But just like you mentioned, I feel like there is a slight bit of miscommunication happening on the ends of Holocaust. And okay, looks like they want to go in for the engage. The turtle is there, and
Mhm.
Badang goes in with the fist crack and the walls, takes down the lower HP Vexana, but on the other hand, might be losing his health soon. But okay, that's just out of the situation. Granger doesn't land his Death Sonata, but he does land a hit on rename card. But the kill does get secured by Yo, and right now he is bloodthirsty. Right after that, Ethel a little confused on what to do. On the other hand of the map, the Badang also becomes a victim to the damage of self on this Granger.
I mean, it's definitely the way Team 5 is executing their entire team composition. It's really beautiful to watch. At the same time, Selena's arrows are missing out. She really need to prioritize her targets. Even though she became, she was buffed, but then again, that doesn't change that you really need precise aiming, precise timing to use up her abyssal arrows. Meanwhile, just look at Ash doing 2 versus 1 right there, but finally a shutdown secured by the Hayabusa, giving him a lot of gold lead. Meanwhile, Sir comes a lot will be taken down once again, and Tigreal trying to provide some CC right there, Badang right from the top lane trying to okay, here comes the fist crack, but of course it is the Kufra with the bouncing ball, and Hayabusa just trying to dive behind the lanes, trying to take down the Vexana or the Granger because that's what he is supposed to do. But then again, the way they are sticking up together just distributes the entire damage. So yeah, at the same time, they like the level difference and the damage isn't enough. At the same time, I think Hayabusa is doing well from before, but I think Erythel might be in a tight situation right there. Three members surrounding her, she is not even aware.
Okay, I feel like Kufra did, I think he went in a little bit too early, but I feel like they just wanted to go and save, just wanted the turret, so they do succeed on it. And look at Suyo just fighting for his life for the mid lane turret, even if Vexana used up her Eternal Guard just to defend it. But it might be worth it because the Tigreal is taken down quite low. And this Lord Engage might be what the dicey situation is really requiring because look at the amount of poking, the damage rename card caught might be on the chopping block, but okay, he does get out of the situation. And Team 5 playing a very disciplined game. They are not overcommitting. I feel like they could have taken down Tigreal, but knowing that it's not really worth it, they waited. They waited. And right now, okay, Evil Defense Mercs, he probably just wants to go away and take down someone. Does he find a situation? Rahel dealing the damage, but there's the Kufra coming in with the bouncing ball, Tyrant's Rage, Revenge. Not anything used up just yet. We're just poking overall.
Yep, and look at that flicker being used up, and Phobos will be taken down. The each shadow is right there connecting, and a double kill for the Hayabusa. Look at them going behind with Vexana, and the Green in the really low HP, but Circum's Lord will be taken down once again, and with that, Hayabusa will definitely be able to take that triple onto his hands as Vexana will be the next on the chopping block. And what an Uno reverse of the team fight. This is what I was talking about, that Team Holocaust has a good draft. It's just that they need to execute it well, need to follow up behind the Tigreal and the Badang. So yeah, one good initiation is all that's needed, and that's how it bore fruit, just taking away the first lot of the game.
Yeah, they got the first lot of the game, but let's just look at the itemizations. But I'm going for the classic tank build. Granger is much ahead of Airtel for the simple fact that you know, the Blade of Despair cost way more than a Windtalker. So three items on the Granger's hand is much more gold than the Irtal, and we can clearly see on the screen. And on the other hand, the mid laners, they are on like same spot. The roamers, they are on the same spot. The Tiger does have more recipe items, quite of a it is a good way to build up. But on the other hand, let's look at compare. Okay, the thing is that the goal lead was obviously to the hands of Team Five, but it's obviously shifted to the hands of Holocaust. But right now, look at that shadow coming in from the Hayabusa, barely get out of the situation. But okay, Tigreal as well as him will fall victim as Selena barely scoops away from the situation. And this game is a full on back and forth of between the two teams, making slight misplays and getting punished for it.
True, only 2K gold lead in the hands of Team 5, even though they are definitely behind in the macro. Like, they lost so many turrets. And I think one of the crucial, like, it's 12 minutes into the game, and right now, one of the crucial um, points of this game, or maybe the key point to victory, is the Irithel. Because you do see in that game changing team fight, the Irithel was the one who did a lot of damage, and then our Hayabusa just went in and capitalized on the rest. At the same time, I think the Granger is getting a bit, aggressive because. Uh, Let's just look at him. He is so out open onto the map. Okay, Selena, what was that? Just dashes away was the bait right there. But yeah, Granger needs to stay safe. Just like we said, he has the Blade of Despair already. There's a lot of damage. And even Vexana as well as the Granger need to play it safe behind the Phobias behind Nova, and they really need to wait up for the follow-ups coming from the tank. Same goes to the side of Team Holocaust because they need the Tigreal to bait out stuff. They need the Badang to bait out, and Circumsolot really needs to, make sure that he is not using up those abyssal arrows pretty blindly because his priority must be the Granger or Vexana. Even if he doesn't dive in, he can provide zero point 0.9 seconds of stun to one person, which can change the entire outcome of a team fight.
Exactly. So yeah, and right now as we proceed, oh, okay, Hayabusa goes in and looks like excuse me, Nova was just not prepared for the damage that could be coming in from this Shadow Assassin. And I think they need to understand that as the game goes on late, both of the teams, they are getting their items and they are getting their damage. The Selena Abyssal arrows are going to be hurting. Even if they do not stun you, you're going to be hurting. The traps are going to be hurting. And you need to take into account because your Lord is right now spawning in 2 seconds and they need to be prepared for to contest it because if they give out this one, they might be losing an inhibitor or two because there's only two tier 2 turrets left standing, and this one might also fall. Hayabusa first into the scene, Suyo cannot respond because the zoning out is really, really great coming in, and Nova just only approaching now when the Lord has already been taken. It looks like, what do you think? Are they going to lose out the bot lane inhibitor?
Well, I do not know about that, but look at that. Phobius' Flicker hasn't made it away, sir. Our Tigreal is looking for an opportunity to use the implosion, and the abyssal arrows are also connecting. Nova might be in a tight situation right there. Look at the eternal guard dropping down. So many people getting knocked up, and Granger will be taken down. Meanwhile, Irisel is also traded off, and a tank for a tank, a marksman for a marksman. Okay. 3 versus 3 right now, but definitely Team Holocaust on the upper hand because like they have the macro advantage, the Lord marching down from the bot lane, and Selena with the wishing lantern will be able to get extra CD reduction. So those arrows will be hitting coming often, and with that once again stun coming in from the Badang, and our Hayabusa will be taken down. Okay, Ash and the rest of the tree trying to march down, trying to take down the Badang. Will it be a full man wipeout? And yes, it will be as 5 members at that. But then again, they really need to defend the Lord, which is trying to take down the inhibitor.
I think they basically took what you said to the heart because they were like, we have the macro advantage. We have a Lord marching down, but they went a little bit overconfident. Sir comes along, was the first one to fall victim, and Badang and Hayabusa, joined them soon. I feel like they should have just played it safe, just let the Lord march in, perhaps push down your tier 2 on the both of the lanes, but they did not. They overcommitted and they punished. They got themselves punished, and I feel like that Lord was low key wasted. Yep, turrets are down. It's like the HP has been lowered down, but they could have done much better if they played the patience game. But oh, Irdal, she's going to be falling right away because she was not prepared for it. But at the same time, the Granger might be the next one. But the Rose Gold Meteor just strikes in on the time that's required. But Sir comes a lot is also in a really high distance. Badang right now just trying to create something for his team, just does not find the proper positioning to just yet. The evil Doofenshmirtz and Badang and their roamer are the only ones standing. I don't think they can defend this turret.
Well, I do not know, but Hayabusa still stays looking for an opportunity in the back lines. But it is, after all, a 3 versus 4. But look at that implosion coming in, and the Wiki Shadow along with a beautiful wrist crack on the 3 members. Everyone's HP is pretty low. Granger coming in with the Death Sonaras, and once again, just look at the control in the hands of a certified racist. And but unfortunately, they will be taken down right now. Selena, as well as Irizal is back, so maybe some hope is left unless the damage amplification coming from Vexana is absolutely horrendous. Absolutely so good near the base because there's so many minions to multiply it on. And with that, they will be losing out on one inhibitor. Meanwhile, look at the base though. Everyone is there. Okay, Granger manages to just go back, but meanwhile, it will be shutdowns after shutdowns in the hands of AFK for money. What was that? Like, you just ignore your base, try to trade it off, but then again, all of your damage dealers are gone.
This game has been nothing but back and forth of who is on the top. And look at right now, Self is gonna get stunned down again, probably fall victim to the abyssal arrows and the traps that are coming in. And right a few seconds back, it was Team 5 on the base of Holocaust. And right now, Holocaust is the one into the base. Tiger with the confidence play as they know they can secure the base and they proceed to the next round. So much back and forth, but in the end, the one who was able to go forth was able to get the victory. And I mean, we just discussed it, right? Vexana was just not overall a good pick in this game. I feel like something with the mobility would have done much better. And on the other hand, I think overall this game was very chaotic, a lot of back and forth. But obviously, at the end, it was where Team 5 made a crucial mistake. They left out their DPSs and also the fact that Granger got taken down too early.
I mean, definitely, they should have maybe cleared out the lanes and gone in for the Lord instead of, grouping up in front of a Badang. And like they tallied delayed enough that the entire team, like the members which were dead, they just respawned back. And of course, if your damage dealers are taken down, Erythral, she just got that opportunity. Like she has so much burst potential right now, one of the top golden laners in my opinion. She can just solo down anyone and literally anyone. She really needs to be taken down. Like, a burst is needed to take this girl down, but then no one was there. So yeah, that was a very, very grave mistake on their part. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going in for a short break. But do stay tuned because we have more matches to come.